Let's learn to build a dashboard in Solstice. So here I'm logged in to solstice.world with my user account, and I'll be building a dashboard based on data collected in a survey that I began in a different video. It's a health clinic readiness checklist which links to health facilities with a site question, asks about the presence of doctors, nurses, community health workers, medical supplies, and an overall readiness level. There's a bunch of test data in the system, so we are ready to begin visualizing it in a dashboard. Let's go through these steps. We'll go to the Dashboards tab here. Dashboards in Solstice are single-page visualizations where you can combine multiple widgets and multiple data sources into one compelling view, where ideally at a glance you can learn something critical about the data that you're collecting, interrogate it, and then make better decisions. There are a number of widgets you can pick from. You can drag and drop into the area. Say Health Clinic Readiness Dashboard. You can save the dashboard from the top left so that our changes are not lost. And we'll be building a map, a chart, a bar chart, and a donut chart, as well as a trend line. So let's create a map. Let's see where these clinics are. I'll drag a map onto the dashboard, and let's pick health facilities because I've linked my survey to health facilities. So I'll map health facilities. I'll only want to have the ones that I've mapped for this exercise. So I'll color them by this overall readiness of the facility. So I can click select here to select my data source. And since I created a survey and I connected it to the site, there's a lot of options here, but I actually just want to go to that related survey. I'll click add related survey to pick my checklist. And I know that the overall assessment is here in section 5 of the survey. So whatever I've got here as these sections map to my survey design exactly. I'm starting with my health facility, so I get it on the map nicely. Each health facility has a location. I'm adding my related survey because that's where I've collected my own custom data, and I'm visualizing the readiness level. So now I get the ones that are fully operational, partially operational, and not operational. Now if I click none, all these publicly visible health facilities are gone, and I see the ones in Ghana. I can jump over to options to click auto zoom. For some reason some location wasn't set properly. I can zoom into Ghana and see the options, the health facilities I've got. The colors could be better. I'll change the background map to light. I will mark fully operational health facilities as green, partially operational as orange, and non-operational as red, so I know to do something about that. These are the latest visits for each health clinic. If I wanted to take this further, I can customize pop-ups. There's a default pop-up, that means what shows when you click your site, and hoverovers. So hoverovers show when you move your mouse on top of a facility or the element on the map. So let's say I want to show the map. On the map, as I hover over the facility name, I just pick the health facility name from here. And if I want to pick something from the survey, I can pick from the related survey again, pick something like the essential medicines and supplies. Were there antibiotics in stock? And save that. So what happens now, if I move my mouse here, I'll see that this facility happens to be Obogu Health Center, and there are no antibiotics in stock at the latest visit. I can then edit it further. Let's say I want to see the latest visit date, and so on. I can make my maps more informative easily this way. So when was this date of visit? How fresh is this data? If I hover over here, I'll see that it was October 1st is the most recent visit there. And to my map, I can keep adding options and layers. I can add more layers from other data sources or different dimensions of the same data. An easy thing to add would be population density information. This is population data coming from satellite layers. That creates this layer on the map where you can see if there are people close by to your mapped elements. In this case, this health facility has a population cluster next to it. So that's a very basic map we've created. Let's follow that up with a pie chart or donut chart showing the percentage of facilities that are stocked out of antibiotics. So I can then bring my chart, drop it somewhere where I want on my dashboard, and choose my bar or chart type. Let's say a donut chart. We'll start from we could start from the survey. That's just going to bring all the responses of the survey, including historical data. What health facilities help us with, in this case, is to bring that latest information, what we're most interested in. Label access, well, here we can again pick from the related survey that we've already added, and this antibiotics question. Hide the nuns, and we'll see show values. And see that 14% had medicine in stock, 42.9% had it in low stock, and shocking similar amount had a stock out. So we need to do something. So we've created a donut chart with a couple of clicks. Then let's add a bar chart tracking the number of nurses per family, per health facility. Health facility again is the data source. That's the crux of our analysis. And we can go to the staffing section where I happen to know we asked the number of nurses on duty. Actually, it's better if we pick the health facility name and show the number of nurses as the vertical axis. And again, we want to hide the ones that we're not interested in. A smart way to do that can be to add a filter. So let's learn how to do that. I can say that I'm only interested in those health facilities where there is at least one of these health clinic readiness checklists. So I can click this checklist option here, the number of, and say it has to be greater than 0 in this case. That's one way to do it. So now I will ignore all the health facilities where this survey has never been done. I can see that there's one where there's just a lot, but we don't want the total, we want the latest. That makes more sense. So what are we doing here? We're picking the value from the latest visit for our health clinic checklist. And we could tell from there that this Holy Family Health Facility has a lot of visits. And that's because I want to demonstrate a trend line, what we'll do next. So single clinic, how the readiness score has changed over time. So that's something, well, let's use a table for that. So because we're linking these surveys to sites, it makes this longitudinal monitoring very, very powerful. Let's use the survey here as the data source because we want to get every response, not just the latest, but all the responses. Health facility name, health facility date, health facility assessment. Now we can order it to make more sense. Let's order it by, again, the name and the date. So now we can see that this Holy Family place has been visited many times, from March all the way to November. If we wanted to make it even clearer to show the readiness level, we could add color rules to these table cells. So we'll take the overall element and again set the color rules to fit us. Now we can tell that when we started monitoring, things have improved. But this is now showing all the health facilities. I'll show a few more tricks about our first dashboard. We can go to settings here at the top to create quick filters, add some interactivity to our dashboard. Let's say that we want to limit our health clinic data based on the health facility name. What does that mean? We now get a drop down here and can use it to filter down to just this Holy Family one. So that's nice. Now we see all the visits to this hospital and we see it's gone better. It's gone from not operational to sort of intermittently operational, and finally a couple of months of full operationality. And click this table to see more details. Now, these other widgets did not update when I filtered this because they're not in the same data source. I'll show the trick to do that. Because they're using a different data source, the health facility. If we pick the name field like this, we can then merge this with the previous health filter and say call this health facility. Now instead of 2 drop downs we will get 1, and if we drill down we'll see that everything's updated accordingly. We'll also see where this health facility is, Beracum, right there. Finally, we could keep adding other quick filters. For example, we might want to see the ones where there's a doctor or isn't a doctor. No doctor. 2 options here. Again, we could do a merge to also update the table. And so on. So powerful filtering options are available. A few more things. You can translate all the text in your dashboard to another language. Well, in Ghana, English should be fine, but maybe we have a francophone visitor, so we can add French, auto-translate, and see if we can get our dashboard to render in a different language. Excellent. It's been updated. These were site fields, so we might want to change those. And finally, you can choose to share this dashboard with stakeholders. A couple of things to take into account. Anybody you make an administrator can make changes to the dashboard themselves. If you make some user of Solstice a viewer, they can view this data based on the permissions that their account has. You can also create a shareable link to share with stakeholders who don't necessarily have a Solstice account. They will see this dashboard through your eyes, or the eyes of the user who most recently edited this dashboard, so an admin. And they won't be able to click through into data that they don't have permission to, but it makes it very easy for you to share your great interactive and informative dashboards with relevant stakeholders without needing to worry about any cost or them having the right permissions. Have a play. There is much more you can do with visualizations in Solstice. Check out the Resource Center, especially the reporting section, where there are a lot of guides on different kinds of visualizations and strategies to make your visualizations really make the most of what the platform has to offer. Let us know if you have any questions or suggestions, and have a great day.